Justin Reid got brought in on a pretty sizable deal, pretty big name there. The big splash so far of free agency for the Saints. What do you think of that deal?
Yeah, I mean, splash is probably also overstating it, but we didn't think the Saints were going to be a splash type of team. So I like if they're shopping in the ballpark where they're shopping. I like the price. I like how much he can help a secondary that really needs it after it's been nothing but exits in recent years. And I like that he's a guy who just turned 28 and he's probably playing the best football of his career. So I mean, this is kind of, I don't know if you're one of those, oh, you can't just buy your way to a good team in free agency. You need to make some smart additions here and there. I mean, this kind of feels like the right kind of way to do free agency. Now, obviously, it all depends on how well he performs, but seems like a smart, sensible size signing with upside and low risk. And I mean, oh my goodness, what if they didn't add to the secondary? They just lost Paulson Adebo, traded away Marshawn Lattimore last year. It's Tyrann Mathieu with 1 year left on his deal, next to a question mark, next to question mark and question mark.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. He's a little like for a box safety. He's kind of splashy, like a little
All
bit
right, all right.
splashy. Like it's not without splash. Like I think he's probably a top 10 strong safety
Yeah.
in the NFL. I mean, and he costs a good amount of money. Like he's not a bad player. Like, he just had his best season of his career. I would rather not be buying him. You know,
Yeah, no kidding.
at the high.
I
Yeah,
can't
I mean,
believe he came at the same price as Jawan Johnson, though, who we're going to talk about later. But I mean, that like it feels like he should be in a tier above Jawan Johnson.
safety's not a
Yeah,
premier
sure.
position in the NFL, but I think he's a good player, but he's not. I think you just got to know what you're getting though. Like he's not a guy that's going to produce a lot of turnovers. He's never been that. Doesn't pick off a lot of passes. He's someone that over the last 2 years, it used to be he played more free safety than box safety. Over the last 2 years, it's shifted to where he's played more box safety than free safety, and I think he's playing better than he has in his career. Pretty surefire tackler. And if you're a team that's really bad against the run, he's someone that you need. And then I also think the other element of this is the way they want to play defense. Like you really need to have that safety that can tackle well because what they like to do, what Staley has done historically throughout his career, we don't know exactly what he's going to implement now, but if he does what he's always done, is he likes to show lighter boxes at the snap and kind of disguise his safeties in the run game. Like a lot of teams you'll just see him immediately go to single high and drop a guy down. Like he likes to hold his safeties back and not declare them immediately. So you need safeties that can tackle. He gives you one has been really good at tackling throughout his career. And the idea of that is that it's just makes it harder for them to bring blocking help to where that safety's coming from. So they like to try to hide that a little bit. And he's somebody that I think allows you to execute how you want to execute. And I think he's kind of a needed player for the scheme. I didn't think they were going to go out and spend money at this position, though. I thought it was going to be the find the young or, the cast off who hasn't quite fit, bring him in, get him working well, get him playing well, and then allow him to go get paid somewhere else next season, which is kind of what they've been doing. But it makes sense. It makes sense to make that investment there. And, I think you get a nice little pairing between him and Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah, and maybe for a year though. I mean, another equation of this is when they redid Tyrann's deal, it kind of felt like, it kind of feels like they're also putting an expiration on it. I mean, maybe Tyrann will have a great season. Maybe he'll be a great fit with this defense, and they'll want to re-up him in free agency. But obviously, they didn't extend Tyrann Mathieu. He's got 1 year left on his deal, so now you're also thinking about the future with this 3 year deal on a younger player as well.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. He's at a point in his career where you got to kind of look at that longevity, and I'm sure Tyrann's looking at it, where he wants to do with the rest of his career too. I think he said before, a few more years. So I don't think he's winding down the clock just yet. But maybe you go and try to win one more ring or something after there, or maybe you re up and you finish it here, like kind of see where it goes. You're in a period of transition, new coaches, all that stuff. So who knows what it's going to look like beyond this season? But yeah, look, I like the signing. I like the move. I think if Tyrann moved on, I would probably want to get another ball hawk though. Like beyond that, I
Yeah.
don't know if that's Justin Reid, and that still is Tyrann. Tyrann, someone that's going to get you 4, 5, 6 possessions back a season because he is that kind of someone that creates those turnovers, and that has not quite been Reid's game. But I like the move, and look between him and Godchow. I feel a little bit better about the run defense. There's two pieces here that I think improve it overall. I think the defense still needs a lot of work. We'll talk on the rest of the needs later on in the show, but I feel slightly better about the defense today than I did 72
Or
hours ago
it's
or whatever.
interesting. That's the next point I was going to make. I mean, the two new additions. Obviously, they also brought back Chase Young, but the two new additions they've made are both addressing the run defense. And I mean, it could be coincidence. I mean, they're juggling a lot of things at once. They're making a lot of moves all together. We'll see what they do in the draft. But just so happens that the first two new players that they've added to this team are addressing the run defense, which makes it feel like that must have been a top priority that they addressed this offseason.
Well, shoot, I like if you know that's what you want to see. You want the defensive coordinator to come in and say like, "Man, this run defense stinks. Let's get some solutions." And I think that's what you see right out of the gate. His run defense wasn't great with the Chargers either. So be cognizant of all that and make sure you get all the pieces that you need. And yeah, two good ones here. And you know, Reed's a pretty good player in coverage too. Like I'm not trying to play it as if he's a you know a hit only, you know,
Yeah.
downhill safety. Like he can cover too. He can do some stuff. He plays a lot in the slot, gives you some versatility. There's a lot of stuff that I think he's going to be able to do. So yeah, I like the signing.